Hi, how are you? This is Truth Unveiled here, and today I'm coming with a very unexpected video indeed, but it's a very important subject. As you can probably tell from the title, it has to do with 2034 and the prophetic significance. Now, again, I'm not here trying to place any dates or anything and say that, yes, this is going to be the year that captivity is over with and that judgment starts, because, again, we don't actually know. However, I'm just sharing what I'm led to share with you from YAHUSHA, because I think it's very important indeed. And what was on my heart to share is recently and lately, it's of course the fall appointed time season. So I pray that all of you are having a wonderful fall appointed time season, regardless of whenever you're observing it. I know we just observed trumpets basically yesterday, but I'm coming on here to say that there has been speculation about the whole September 23rd and the rapture and all that. I try not to get involved with that whatsoever. But the reason I'm here sharing this very important message is because, and I don't mean for this to be a doom and gloom type of message, but the reality, though, is that we might be in captivity a little bit longer than what we were hoping or expecting for. Again, I'm not trying to put a date on it and say that, yes, this is going to be the definitive time. However, based on what YAHUAH is giving me and based on what has been shared on this channel and what will be shared with you today, I think it is very important, worth noting indeed. So again, folks, right now is the time to, of course, stay prepared, stayed in YAHUAH. I know I have not been uploading on here lately, and truth be told, probably will not, because again, YAHUAH really wants us, each and every one of us individually, to be seeking YAHUAH himself and having that intimate relationship and not just relying on people on YouTube. I'm not saying people are doing that, but that's just, again, the place that where YAHUAH has me right now. Anyway, getting into the video today, like I said, we might be here a little bit longer, so this video is about how to prepare and how to get ready for that. And what am I really talking about when I say that we might be here until 2034? And again, our enemies have lied about certain things. And again, the purpose of this channel is to expose the lies, expose the liars, because the whole 1619, as YAHUAH was having me realize, was indeed a lie and indeed a big deception. Now, for those of you who already do not know, this is Truth Unveiled 777, the real one. So again, this channel started back in 2015 on YouTube. It amassed well over 350,000 subscribers, all esteemed to YAHUAH for that, but was terminated a second time in 2021 due to the truth. And since then, there has been an impersonator, an imposter. And so then I started this other backup channel. This is probably the fifth one that we've started. So for those of you who are seeing this for the first time, hi, shalom, how are you? For those of you who are returning, welcome back. We're so glad to have you here. So I just want to get everyone up to speed with everything. And I've written some notes down to talk about what we're going to be talking about today. And again, how we can get ready in case we do have another 9 potential years worth of captivity left to endure, because I think it is very important indeed. So again, we've been told with the whole 1619 that that's when captivity began, that's when slavery began. It began in Jamestown as of so-called August of 1619, and then of course 400 years following that would have been 2019, and that's when, according to scripture, captivity was supposed to end. However, what YAHUAH has actually told me verbatim before is that, again, if it's promoted by the mainstream, do not go for it. If the mainstream is going this way in this direction, you go the other direction. And we know that to be true in the case of the True Locations videos, as we've talked about on this channel. The entire world, of course, believes the lie that Palestine is the true land and the true locations. When you can look on this channel and the Rumble channel, and you'll see that the True Locations is not anywhere near that area whatsoever. Just like they say that Babylon, they claim it to be in Iraq or wherever they say it is, but really it's actually in Sudan. Just like the mainstream, they tell you that the real Mount Sinai is in Egypt, but actually it's in so-called Saudi Arabia. So these are just some examples of, again, the mainstream telling us one thing, but again, we cannot believe what they say. Like the word says in Ecclesiasticus 12:10, trust not thine enemy. So again, if it's promoted by mainstream, we cannot go for it. And again, we know that according to the Illuminati card games, that what? Rewriting history. That's exactly what they've done. So again, I'm still keeping in prayer about this, and I pray that you keep in prayer about this too. But what I've been led is that, again, for the whole 1619, 2019 and all of that, is what did they do? What did our enemies and oppressors do? They faked and forged documents. They faked and forged all of those documents to make us believe that that's when slavery began, when really it's not, or at least that's not when scriptural captivity begins. Because again, what does the enemy like to do? They try to tamper with the word, but one thing they cannot tamper with is, of course, Yahuwah's plans and promises. And you're going to see what I'm talking about in just a moment to come. So again, they might not be able to tamper with the whole 400 years, but they can tamper with when it began. They can try to change and manipulate, okay, what year did it begin? What do I mean by this? Because again, if it really did begin in 1619 like we're told and like we're taught, then judgment should have began in 2019 in this country. Now, some might say that, oh, the C word, that is the beginning of judgment in 2020. But let me just say this, though. Again, according to the word, that what? The word tells you how this nation is going to be judged. Again, the word says that what? Nothing new is under the sun. So again, you have to ask yourself, is that what happened with that hoax? Was that actually judgment according to the word, or was it something different? Because again, books, and we've gone over this on this network before, but books such as the Apocalypse of Abraham or Abraham, books such as 2nd Esdras chapters 15 and 16, and even books in the regular scriptures such as Yeshayahu, Isaiah chapter 11 with the 2nd Exodus, these books tell us exactly, Yahuwah has already outlined how this nation, how America is going to be judged, or how the second Egypt is going to be judged. Yes, America is the second Egypt. You can read about this in Deuteronomy chapter 28, indeed. So we know that for a fact. So again, well, how will this nation be judged? Did he say that some hoax, you know what, would be how this nation would be judged? That's not what the word says. The word says that it would be civil war. The word says also, you can look as a reference to the book of Shamuth, Exodus. For those of you who are the early schoolers of this channel, you know that we did a video on how America is Egypt, literally and spiritually. And again, we compared that with the Mississippi River to the Nile River and just all the similarities. And again, what happened in the first Egypt? The first Egypt, there were 10 plagues. So again, that lets us know that the 10 plagues have to occur in the second Egypt as well. That's also how you know that it is the judgment of Yahuwah. Well, the Mississippi River has not yet turned into blood, so therefore judgment for this nation has not yet occurred. So again, well then when might it occur? Again, we're not saying it will happen in 2034 or around that time. It could happen sooner, it could happen later. But again, the purpose of this channel is to help you pay attention to the signs of the times and the signs in the skies so that we are awake, alert, and aware of the world around us. So based on these facts, well, we can see that, okay, well, judgment has not yet begun in America according to scripture. So that lets us know that somebody is lying indeed. And if somebody is lying, well, we know Yahuwah does not lie. So who's lying then? The father of all lies. The word says that the devil has come to deceive the entire world, not just some people, but all people. And also forgive the lighting that's going on here. I'm trying to fix everything. But again, we know for a fact that that's what the devil does, is deceives the entire world. So again, the purpose of this channel is to do our best to restore everything that has been lost and that has been done. And again, how do we get to 2034? Why do we get to that year? And why do we arrive there? And what's our rationale for that? Now, if you can recall, we actually did a topic on this, a video on this, I want to say back in 2022. I will link that video in the description box so that you can see it on your own time. But what we talked about in that video is about 2 more eclipses that will occur in so-called Africa in 2027 and 2034. Now, pay careful attention to these eclipses. And the question you need to be thinking about, again, is this similar to the 2 eclipses that occurred in America? And is it a coincidence, everything that I'm about to share with you today? So again, you see this one eclipse that occurs in 2027 over here that goes this way. And then this one is a total solar eclipse that occurs in 2034. So again, 7 Gregorian years. And notice where you see the X marks the spot. Now remember, what we talked about on this network and channel is, again, when it's 2 X's, that is what? The Tha or the Thu, the last letter of the Yahudah or the so-called Paleo-Hebraic alphabet. And again, each letter is a numeric value, so each letter is a number, so that letter happens to be numerically 400 years. Isn't that interesting? And so these are the dates that it will occur. So it will be on so-called August 2nd of 2027. That's when the first eclipse will occur. Now, isn't it interesting that it follows the same path or the exact same travel way as the first eclipse in America? And you'll see what I'm talking about when I show you that map in a moment to come. But then the second one in Africa occurs in 2034. And notice where they make the X. They make the X in Egypt, or basically around the place where what? Where the Exodus took place. Around 𝐉𝐄𝐄𝐄 or Mount Sinai, which is Jabal al-Lawz in so-called Saudi Arabia. That's the real Mount Sinai. Yes, that is the real Mount Sinai, Jabal al-Lawz, and it just so happens to be in this area. And if I'm not mistaken, the real Exodus took place over here in the Gulf of Aqaba as it's known today. But the reason I bring this up and the reason this is so prophetic and significant is because, again, didn't this just happen in America last year and in so-called 2017 as well? Why, yes, it did. So again, the first one, again, traveling that same path in 2017 as of so-called August 21st, and then the second one as of so-called April 8th of 2024. Now, what's interesting about this time is that this was around the spring appointed times, and you see that the one that occurred, or that will occur in Africa as of 3/20/2034 will be around the time of the new year. So that's definitely not a surprise or a coincidence whatsoever. So again, two eclipses, both of them occur in Egypt, the first Egypt and the last Egypt, prophetically speaking. Not only that, but they both make the X, which is the through the top, which you get the numeric symbol of 400 years. And it's the same exact precise times. What am I talking about? Again, you can take a look at our video that was done on this before to learn more about this, because we've actually plugged in the numbers. But isn't it interesting that when you plug in the numbers in the dates between, so the days between August 21st, 2017 and April 8th, 2024, you get a total of 2,422 days. Isn't it interesting that with the eclipses in Africa, the ones that occur in 2027 and 2034, so if you plug in August 2nd, 2027 and March 20th, 2034, you also get 2,422 days. Not only that, but if you plug in the dates durations between the first and third eclipse, so the one that occurs on August 21st, 2017, and if you plug that in with the eclipse, the first African eclipse that will occur on August 2nd, 2027, you will get 3,633 days. Now, when you plug in April 8th, 2024, up until the last eclipse day, which is March 20th, 2034, you get 3,633 days. Again, I know I'm speeding through this. Again, if you would like to see this and have a more visual, please take a look at our video that was already done on this topic. Again, folks, we've already talked about this in extensive detail back, I want to say, in 2022. So please take a look at that video if you have not already seen it, or if you need a refresher. And again, you can do this on your own time. But why is this so significant and so important? Because again, what does the word say? What does YAHUAH say? He says that he's the beginning and the end. YAHUSHA says this in Kaza'un, Revelation chapter 1, verses 8. He's the beginning and the end. So what does that mean? If he's the beginning and the end, the word also says that he's declared the end from the beginning in Yeshayahu, Isaiah chapter 46, verses 10. And again, these are scriptural references. So if he's declared the end from the beginning, we know he is the beginning and the end. We know that according to his word, that what? He's the first and the last. Well, we know the first Egypt already occurred, and now this is the second Egypt according to Deuteronomy 28, the United States of America. So if we know that, then, so wouldn't it make sense that, again, a second eclipse would have to occur over Africa as well? And again, like we talked about before with the whole X right here, as you can see, X marks the spot. You also see that, again, where they meet is where? In Egypt. And we go over that extensively in our previous video that is linked in the description box below, that I highly recommend you take a look at if you already have not. But just like in this video, again, like we've talked about in this picture, that again, we talked about how, again, where the X marks the spot in the second Egypt in southern Illinois. We talked about how that area is known as Little Cairo, Little Egypt, right around the Nile. Are you in denial? Or should I say the new Nile, which is the Mississippi? Very interesting and suspicious indeed. And again, also Memphis, Tennessee. There's a pyramid over there. Again, what do you think they're referencing? Memphis, Tennessee. Isn't there a Memphis in Egypt as well? And interestingly enough, both eclipses actually pass through the Nile, as you can see right here. So the first one in 2027 and the second one in 2034. So again, folks, this is not a surprise or coincidence. The fact that they both coincide, the fact that they both make an X marks over the spot over Egypt, over both Egypts, over both places that have been known to enslave us as a people, the fact that that happens, and the fact that it's, again, the last letter of our alphabet, and the fact that it's the numeric value of 400 lets me know that, again, this is not a surprise or a coincidence. Very interesting and suspicious indeed. It also lets me know that, again, folks, we might have to endure a little bit longer. Now, again, I'm not trying to make this doom and gloom because I know we've been enduring enough already. But again, the word also says that, again, in Bereshit, Genesis 15:14, that what? We will leave here with great wealth. Well, the word also says that the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous. So we know that, again, when comes time for the second Exodus, according to the word, that, again, that our people will be leaving out of here in yachts and treasures, just like the first Egypt. Again, you could read the story of the first Exodus and you'll see how parallel it is to this upcoming one. But again, will it be in 2034? Again, I'm not saying it will or won't. Again, there could be some things that might happen before then. I know some people have been saying, I don't know whether or not this is true or not, but some people have been saying that that civil war will occur while Trump is still in office. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm not saying it will or it won't. Maybe Trump will stay in office. I don't know. What I am here to tell you, though, is about these eclipses that will occur, how it makes the X marks over the spot, just like the one in the USA and both Egypts, how, again, they have the same precise timeline, the same exact days in between them, and how it's the number 400. And not only that, interestingly enough, you will also see that 2023 and 2034 for the calendars for it, you'll see that, again, March 20th, 2034 is right around the time of the new year. It's the same exact week as the new year. Now, what I've actually already done is I've already made the calendars up until 2034. I was going to wait until after Tabernacles to actually post and announce the calendars. So Yahuwah willing, there will be an actual video that will come out announcing the calendars up until 2034. So please check back for that video. Again, if you're not getting notifications, then you'll have to manually check back, Yahuwah willing. Prayerfully, that video will be posted within the next 3 to 4 weeks, prayerfully within the next month. So definitely stay tuned for that. We're not going to post it in this video specifically. The reason we're here is because I wanted to show you how, again, March 20th, 2034 is when the last eclipse will occur. Well, isn't that interesting? Because that's literally the day before the last day of the year of that year. And then the 2034 calendar, as you can see right here, the new year literally begins maybe 2 days after that, on the evening of a so-called Tuesday, March 21st, 2034. That is definitely not a surprise or a coincidence either, how, again, it happens right before the new year. Now, again, am I saying that that's going to be the year of the Exodus? That's going to be the year of judgment? No, I'm not. I'm just saying that these are some things to look for. These are some things to pay attention to. These are some things to look out for. And again, Yahuwah has been leading me to really talk about these things because, again, there's going to be a lot of people talking about, oh, September 23rd, or oh, this day, that day. Some of them might be doing it for views or TikTok or whatever the case is. But the reality, folks, is that, again, Yahuwah has already declared the end from the beginning. So what I recommend and pray and suggest that you do is pray about everything that you see today. Continue to seek Yahuwah and his true son, YAHUSHA. But in case we do have to keep enduring another 9 to 10 years, if not longer, really continue to seek Yahuwah, really continue to seek his face, really ask Yahuwah, if you already haven't, Yahuwah, what is it that you want me to do? What is your purpose for me? How do you want me to ready myself and my family if you're in that situation? Because, folks, that's going to be the most important thing. I know many of us have been going through many hardships and many trials, but again, when we know with Yahuwah, he will bring us out of them all. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Yahuwah saves us out of them all. So again, prayerfully, this video was helpful. Prayerfully, it shed some light. Again, if this video is still up by so-called 2034, we'll see what happens. Maybe by then the shutdown would have happened. I don't know, but I've just been led to share this with you all. Prayerfully, it has been very helpful unto you. Prayerfully, it is a barakah or favorable unto you and your family. Once again, have a wonderful fall appointed times. Also, like I said, these calendars up until 2034 will be uploaded, Yahuwah willing, in the next couple of weeks. So from 2026 all the way up until 2034, we will upload those calendars. Also, we will have some exciting updates about the Restore Scriptures version and a potential app. So stay tuned for that as well. We're still trucking along through the edits. Thank you all for your support, your time, your donations. We really appreciate it indeed. Prayerfully, once again, this was helpful unto you. This is Truth Unveiled here saying, as always, Shalom.